Good morning, happy Friday Focus, Friday the 18th of June. Wow, it's pouring down here. It is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. I've just turned my Argo off, which is why it's gone nasty. So I've just turned my Argo back on, so it'll probably go sunny again. I hope you are all having a good week. It's Friday again. This week's going so fast, I don't know whether we're coming or going. Anyhow, so today we're going to be talking about 4 ways that cloud accounting can help you get paid faster. Now, there are still a lot of people who are using spreadsheets because it's cheaper, it's quicker, it's easier as far as they're concerned. But what they might not be doing is checking out when their clients or customers are actually paying and being able to keep track of it. And it's, if you're doing it manually on a spreadsheet, it can be really complicated to keep an eye on that, especially as your business gets busier and bigger. So we're going to talk about cloud accounting. Cloud accounting is, well, in my eyes, there are so many benefits to cloud accounting, such as value for money for a start, time-saving automation and flexible working. You can do it anywhere, wherever you are. You can give your accountant access, you can give your team access. Certain people can have HighKate. You can have different users on there who have different permissions, different user permissions, etc. You can, what else can it do? You can help you get paid faster. It can increase your cash flow. It can reduce the amount of admin time you have to spend on doing your accounts, which most people would probably think that that's a massive bonus. It's much, much more accurate than a spreadsheet, for the simple reason that spreadsheet, you have human error a lot of the time. Transpose numbers the wrong way around, 835 to 853, makes a very big difference to the accounts. So making sure that what you're putting into your cloud accounting system matches up with what's on your bank statement is absolutely key. It means that you've got real-time reports if you're using cloud accounting systems, so that you can get cash flow reports. You can do your budgets on there. You can get your profit and loss. You can work out what your tax is going to be. You can do so much with cloud accounting systems, and also they integrate with so many different things these days. So if you're running an e-commerce business, you can have an integration that works with that. If you are taking PayPal or Stripe payments, you integrate with that, so everything gets transferred straight into your, fed straight into your cloud accounting system. So there are loads and loads of different types. There's Xero, which is the one that I use for probably 95% of my clients. QuickBooks, we've all seen those dreadful adverts. It is not as quick as, oh, look, just press a button and here you go, there's your account. It is not as quick as that. Do not believe all the adverts, okay? It does make life a lot easier, but it is not as quick as that. Free agent costs, but if you have a NatWest Bank, you get it free, NatWest or Metal. Okay, I love Xero too. Xero, where'd it go? Sorry. Xero has made such an enormous difference to my life. It really, really has. And so many of my clients as well. Once they're on it, once they've got the training done and they get it to work for them, then it makes such a big difference. It really, really does. So how can cloud accounting help you get paid faster? Sorry, my camera's gone a bit doolally today. We've only moved into this office last week and we've only just got our Wi-Fi up and running properly. It kept on dropping off all week, which was a nightmare. So, number 1, automated invoicing. If you want to get paid really quickly, you have to get your invoices right. Preparing those invoices manually increases the likelihood of making human error. Mistakes on your invoices can then lead to unhappy customers, a lot of unnecessary back and forth emails and WhatsApps to try and fix it. And it also means that you're likely to be waiting longer for the money that you're owed to actually reach your bank account. Cloud accounting software programs usually can, always can automate your invoices. So you can send them on time. You can send repeating invoices every month, whatever it happens to is. Kate's saying, I see so many people online who are disappointed with QuickBooks because their marketing leads people to believe they submit the tax return for you. Oh, this is so true. This is so true. Their marketing makes you think literally you've just got to feed your bank statements in, and then you press a button and your accounts are done and your tax return submitted. No, it's not as simple as that, I can promise you. This is why accountants train for the amount of years that they train, and this is why we are qualified and licensed, and why we have to do things like continual professional development in order to make sure that our licenses are kept up to date. This is why having a piece of software to do something for you is all very well and good, but you just actually do have to do your bit as well. Anyhow, so cloud accounting softwares will automate your invoices. They can get you to, you can get them to do repeating invoices so that they send them on a monthly basis on the first of each month or whatever it happens to be if it's the same amount. But you can also get them to be sent directly to your client's email address, their inbox immediately. So you don't have to wait for several days to be paid. But also what you can do is you can integrate a payment system like GoCardless or something like that. So it's all set up on direct debit. It's really quick, it's really easy, and it's really efficient. And yes, of course they take a charge because they're running a business, but the simplicity that it gives you and the peace of mind it gives you is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And you can keep such a good track of who owes you what and why something hasn't come, but why hasn't something been paid. So what else can you do? You can track your receivables. This is really important. Tracking your receivables is keeping a track of who owes you money, as it says, receivables. Sometimes if you're using a spreadsheet and you've got, I don't know, 30 clients or 30 customers, whatever it happens to be, keeping track of who's paid when, matching that up with your bank statement can be an absolute nightmare. Now, if you are selling something online, then obviously they're having to pay immediately. I know, yeah, the price for Xero is going up in September, which isn't great, but honestly, it is worth every penny. So, what was I just saying? Oh, I've lost it now. If you're doing a spreadsheet and you've got 30 odd customers, then keeping track of who's paid can be just a bit of a nightmare, to say the least. And again, it's rife for human error. If you have an online business and you're selling things online, then you're going to be being paid immediately by Stripe, PayPal, whatever it happens to be. Doesn't really matter, Sage Pay, any of those things. So you can keep a track of what actually has been paid or what hasn't been paid. But if you're putting all that information into a spreadsheet, it is going to be nigh on impossible to keep really good track of it. And you're much more likely to make mistakes with it, especially if you get tired. If you have a cloud accounting system, you can print out a report, look at a report on your screen, whatever it happens to be, to show you who owes you money, when it was owed, send them a statement, done, dusted, sorted. In my case, what I find is more often than not is it's because a direct debit has been refused for whatever the reason happens to be, and the client has no idea. And once they get the statement from me, they say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'll get that reinstated immediately. I changed banks. I forgot to tell GoCardless or whatever it happens to be. But you can track all of your receivables so that you can keep a really good eye on what's owed. Clients are much less likely to pay you on time if they think that you are forgetful or unlikely to follow up. However, if you consistently send them a payment reminder, so on something like Xero, you can send a payment reminder every, I think it's every 7, 14 and 21 days. You can change the dates anyhow. So if you know that you've got a notoriously slow paying client or whatever, you can set your system to automatically send payment reminders. Then it's separating you from it, which is quite useful, I find. If you continually send the payment reminders, then it's much more likely to prompt them that they're missing deadlines and things like that. If you notice a client is always late, then you can start to introduce late fees. you have to give them plenty of notice in writing that you're making these changes. But the amount that you can charge is, I think it's 4% above the base rate of whichever bank you're with, in order to be able to charge any interest. But you must put that on your invoices to say. So number 3 is shorter payment cycles. Now this is really key. Most small businesses have always offered their clients 30 days to pay their invoices, but to be honest, I think this is a real thing of the past now, when companies had no choice but to send it by snail mail, a physical invoice. They had to wait for the 30 days for the payment cycle, because it would take a few days for the invoice to actually reach the client. It would then process the invoice and maybe issue a check and then send it back to them. It was going to take 30 days. That's how long it took. Nowadays, you send an invoice, your client can pay it immediately through their bank transfer. Or if you send an invoice through your GoCardless or whatever payment system you happen to be, you can set on their payment date, day after tomorrow, whatever it happens to be, 14 days, whatever it happens to be. But you must make sure that on your invoices, it does have your payment terms, because otherwise you are acting illegally, which isn't a good idea. So number 4 is making it easier for your clients to pay you. And this is key. This is what Amazon do. This is why Amazon has set up the, what is it called? Buy one, click one thingy, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Anyhow, whatever it's called. Because it makes it easier for you to buy. If you make it easier for you to buy, the client's much more likely to do it more quickly. So when you're electronically invoicing a client and it goes into their inbox with something like Xero, which again is something that I use, you accept several different types of payments. So you include PayPal, GoCardless, credit cards, debit cards, bank transfers, whatever you want. You make it easy for them. On a Xero invoice, you can actually have a blooming great big green button that says pay now. You press the button, you put your bank details in, done, dusted, sorted. They don't then have to think about it. It's peace of mind for them. Their invoices are paid, their bills are all paid. It's out of their head, they don't have to worry about it. Your money is in the bank. Quick, simple, and easy. Give them a choice of how they can pay and make it easy for them. Very, very cool. Very, very important. So conclusion is, as a business owner, getting paid on time is almost definitely probably one of the most difficult parts of running your business. But it's also the most necessary. It's the one that is going to completely muck up your cash flow, because if you don't know when someone's going to be paying you, you're stuffed. If you have repeating invoices that get paid during that month, whatever it is, then you're going to know when that money's going to be going in, almost definitely. Not definitely, obviously, because direct debits can fail. But taking advantage of the capabilities that cloud accounting software can offer you is, I think it's invaluable. I really do. The amount of time that it saved. My business used to take about 3 hours a week to do all my bank reconciliations when I used Sage. And that was before any of the cloud accounting thingy watsons came in. And that was also before my business was about 50% smaller than it is now. So if I was doing that now, it's probably going to take me about 4 or 5 hours if I was doing it a week to do that, to check my debtors, to check my creditors, to make sure all my bills had been paid, make sure that my bank reconciled with the bank statement, all of those things that keep everything tickety-boo as far as your business is concerned. Nowadays, on a Friday, or actually we've changed it now to a Friday afternoon. It's my finance Friday. I do my Friday focus. We do our profit allocations, and I do my admin work for my business. Going through my Xero account on a weekly basis, it will take me 15 minutes to reconcile my bank account, and it takes another 10 minutes to go through my debtors and creditors a week. That's a reduction from 3 hours. That is amazing. That means that I can then print out my profit and loss. I can have a look at my budget and see what my actuals and my variances are. And I've done it all. And I've saved so much time. And yes, it is costing me £26 a month, £24 a month at the moment, 26 in September. But the time it saves me means that I can then go on and do the other work that I've got to do in order to basically save that time to do the things that I want to do, the things that make the money in my business, the revenue generating tasks I've got. So that is what we are talking about today, is how cloud accounting can help you get paid faster and how quick it is to deal with all of your admin and your finances and things like that. So if you've got any questions, you know where to get hold of me, and I hope to see you next week. I will be here next week. Have a fabulous week. I hope to goodness this weather stops and the sun comes back out again. Have a lovely weekend and a great week next week. And any questions, please come and ask me. Thank you. Bye.